طبعا كلنا عارفين ايه هي جبنه شيدر، معروفه في العالم كله. هو بيقولوا عليها جبنه شيدر في بلاد، بس هنا بتيجي من مكانها اللي هو في بريطانيا اسمها تشيدر. ليه؟ متسميه على نفس القريه اللي طلعت منها الجبنه، ومتسميه على اسمها تشيدر. يعني جبنه تشيدر جايه من المنطقه اللي اسمها تشيدر الموجوده هنا في بريطانيا.
I've been in cheese for a long time, since about 1978, I think. And first of all, I was a trainee buyer with Sainsbury's, and then with another group, and then I set up on my own. And I set up on my own in 1982, and I've been working for myself ever since. Always in cheese.
والله انا بحب الجبنه جدا جدا جدا. شايف في لابس اصفر اهو هنا واصفر هنا، ممكن يعني اصفر في كل حته، علشان مش بحب الجبنه عشان جاي اصور جبنه. ده قد ايه انا مبسوط ان انا جاي اصور جبنه، لان الجبنه دايما بتديني كل حاجه اللي انا عايزه من الجبنه. بتديني الملوحه بتاعت الجبنه، وانا بحب الملح اصلا، بحب الحاجات المالحه والحادقه. بتديني التكستشر كويس بتاع الكالسيوم والكلام ده كله، فهي كلها بتعمل واجب معايا. يعني في اي حاجه بتعمل واجب معايا يعني بالاخر.
We heat the milk up to 32 degrees. We add a traditional starter culture, which starts the process off. We add a vegetarian rennet, which coagulates the cheese, and we then cut the curd.
We put the milk in here. It comes in first thing in the morning, normally about 8:15 in the morning. And when the milk's in here, we bring it up to temperature 32 degrees. Right, what we're going to do now is test the acid levels in it. We do this after we've cut it the first time, what's known as the first cut. Yeah, you won't want this.
I love it.
This full of protein whey. At the moment, this is all very, very sticky. When you cut it, it wants to stick back together, but it doesn't stick back together. If you know what I mean, it's just a bit sticky, but it's actually cutting really nice today.
Well, there were a lot of people making cheddar around here, but gradually they've got bigger. And if you look at the topography of cheddar, it's not good for big, large-scale manufacturing. So they've all moved to other areas. And we've decided that rather than get big, we just want to concentrate on producing a traditional, top-quality cheese. And we'll remain small, but we'll keep trying to produce good quality.
It's from here that you really see it change. You know, each process that we do now, you can really see the difference in the junket. You can see how it's all forming and setting.
البقرة كانت واقفة الصبح وقعدوا يحلبوها، جابوا منها اللبن، وجابوا اللبن هنا جابوا له حوالي 250 260 او بلاش نقول الصراحة، هم جابوا له 2018 لتر لبن، حطوهم في الحوض اللي جوه ده وسخنوا الحوض.
The temperature in here at the moment should be something like 33.5 degrees. So slowly over 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes, we're going to bring that temperature up to 41 degrees.
It's very physical work. We've tried to keep it as near the original as possible. There are certain things we can't do, like we have to use stainless steel instead of cast iron, and we use an electric mill. But it's worth it because each cheesemaker will make a slightly different cheese. So you can say that the personality of a different cheesemaker in a different cheese.
And now you should see it all starting to break up.
You've got the solids and you've got the whey, okay? Now we've got 2,000 litres of milk in here. Out of that, we will probably get around 1,700 litres of whey, which we'll send out. So
The rest gone between water, between leftover.
yeah, I mean, the rest of it's solid, but 90% of it nearly is then taken out in whey.
So what happens when we roll kind of thing?
You're just stopping it, otherwise it'll all settle at the bottom
Okay.
and just stick together.
Yeah.
We'll be raising it up.
Yeah, you're keeping it stirred because what you're doing as you heat it, you're driving, making cheese is turning a liquid into a solid. So you start off with liquid milk, you end up with solid cheese. And all the processes are designed to drive more moisture out. So when you're cooking it and you've got it in bits, it's making more moisture come out of the curd. So by the time this finishes, you'll see it later, it'll be quite hard.
Yeah.
Quite hard after it's been basically cooked for 2 hours. It's all about the judgment. So the judgment of when the curd is ready to cut, the judgment of when it's ready at this stage, and then again at the end, Sean will have to make a judgment as to when it's ready to mill and take on to the next stage. So we have a recipe, and a lot of people are very closed about their recipe. But I don't mind people seeing ours, because if you took the recipe, you could make so-so cheese, but it's all the little bits that are slightly different, because the milk is different every morning.
عارفين كل حاجه اما الجبنه تروح يمين عارفين ايه المشكله، وعارفين لما تروح شمال هتروح ليه. ده اللي عجبني جدا. فاهمين هم بيعملوا ايه كويس جدا في شغلهم. ده عجبني الطريقه بتتعامل مع بعض فظيعه، بخصوصا ان الراجل بيدي فرص للناس الصغيره اللي عنده وكده هوت، وكان فرحان جدا. بيقول لي انا فرحت ان هو كان بيشرح لك بطريقه كويسه وكده، وانا اساسا تزقه وكده هوت عشان هو اللي يبقى بيشرح لك ومش عارفه ايه في الجبنه، لان هو كويس جدا وبيحب شغله، وانا حبيت ان انا اعمل حاجه زي دي. يعني اتموسفير كله كويس.
If you take pasteurized milk, you get the milk with all the natural enzymes and other flavor producing bodies in, and you kill them. And then you add a starter culture, and the flavor is determined by the starter culture. With unpasteurized milk, you keep all the original enzymes in, and then you add to it with a starter culture. So when you try it later, you'll find you won't just get one flavor. You'll get one flavour followed by another flavour followed by another flavour, and you'll get different levels of flavour. You won't get that with a pasteurised milk cheese. So you're going to get lots of different flavours, and different flavours develop at different rates. So at one age you'll get these flavours, and another age you'll get different flavours.
This is quite interesting.
Cheddar cheese originated in this area, definitely. There are records of it back over 1,000 years as being from here. And the reason it probably started here is that there are two major milk producing areas in terms of grass and pastures in the UK. One is the northwest in Cheshire, so you get Cheshire cheese, and the other is in the southwest, centred around Cheddar. So the cheese manufacturing business built up round the source of milk. At different times of the year, there's more or less fat in the milk. So if you take this vat of milk, that'll probably make 8, maybe 7 cheeses. In September or October, that exact same amount of milk will make 9 or 10 cheeses. Because the fat is very different in the milk, depending on what the cows have been eating.
مسؤوليه كبيره اللي احنا فيه ده يا جماعه، مسؤوليه كبيره. حسابات الجبنه كلها دي، وبقى تعمل لك اكياس، وبعد كده تطلع منها الحبه الصغيرين تطلعهم لحد تاني. هو بالعكس كده بيستخدم كل حاجه هنا في البيزنس من الاخر. الميه بتاعت الجبنه بيستخدمها اللي باقيه من اللبن، واللبن بيستخدمه، والجبنه بيستخدمها، وحوافر الجبنه بيستخدمها، وحوافر الجبنه بيستخدمها، الحوافر اللي جنب الحوافر الثانيه بيستخدمها.
So day 1 you're doing this, day 2 you're dipping it, day 3 you're dressing it, and day 4 you're getting it ready and weighing it and putting it in the store. And then when it's in the store, you don't just leave it. We leave it for about 8 to 10 weeks, and then it has to be turned every 4 weeks. So you lift it up, you flip it and turn it.
So to keep the things in the middle.
Well, if you imagine, it's still a bit wet.
Yeah.
Okay? So you put something slightly wet on a shelf, and the top end will dry differently to the bottom
Yeah.
end. And because you've got so many different enzymes in it, you'll get different ones developing at the top than at the bottom. So you'd end up with a cheese that tasted like this at that end and something different at the other end.
Yeah.
So you need to turn it to let it dry out uniformly. So this is where we keep them, and what we try and do is keep the temperature at around 11 degrees centigrade, but then we want to keep the humidity up, because if you don't keep the humidity up, it dries too quickly and cracks and you get problems. So we keep the humidity up around 85%, and if we could get it higher, we would. So these are the blue ones. So if you look at the different dates, that was made in January 2015, so that's about 14 months old. These are newer. These were made
January 2016.
yeah, not very long ago. And these, as I say, will be very new. And this one was made in
14th of March
2016.
16.
So once those are all drier, then they come out. He did very well. He did very well because he was extra and he helped a lot. And we have a few visitors, and I would say he's helped more than anybody, literally, really. So part of the process is dipping the cheese in hot water the second day. Now the reason for that is when you put it in the mould, you put a cloth around it. When you press the cheese will obviously decrease in length, but the cloth won't. So it presses the cloth and creases into the cheese. So when you take it out the second day, you dip it in hot water, which makes the outside pliable again, and then press it again. So when it comes out, it's very smooth. And that stops any faults in the rind and cracking in the rind. And like, you know, whey powder, bodybuilders use.
Okay. From here.
This sort of thing. So you have the whey and then you dry it into a powder, and that's the whey powder.
Yeah, the whey's coming out of the vat there, out through the tap, through the pump, through the pipe there, through the wall, and it goes into the big silo outside, the big tank outside. Wow. And that's where it's stored. There's two of them out there.
And there's cars that comes and take this.
There's a lorry comes every other week to unload it and take it away.
Interesting. Recycling.
Yeah.
You're not leaving anything, you're not throwing anything, and this is the spirit.
We try not to.
No, you're doing very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely very well.
And then a good way to tell if the curd is right is if you get a handful and just, and just squeeze it gently, just gently, it'll come apart again. You probably squeeze that a bit, you just get used to it and
I
it'll
do too
come
much
apart.
and I squeeze.
Yeah, just squeeze a bit and it'll come apart again. And you know it's done then, just
wow.
about right.
Who believes that this is Shayder?
And after that, the whey is drained off and the cheddar is put into a cooling table, and cheddaring then takes place. So cheddaring is cutting the blocks of cheese, putting them on top of each other and squeezing more and more moisture out.
فالخامة اختلفت طبعا من كل بروسيس، لأن كل مرة يا بنزود حاجة يا بنقلل حاجة في طريقة التحضير، يا بيزود حاجة، في الخامة بتختلف، الخامة بتبدأ تختلف، يعني تتلون على اللي عايزه الراجل هو عايز يبقى ايه، فهمتوني؟ يعني لو عايزة تبقى كده، لو عايزة تنشف شوية بيسيبها تنشف شوية، لو حاسة ان هي ناقصة حمضية بيسيبها يقلبها شوية كده، يعني فاهمين؟ بيراقبها كده.
So that side looks very different from this side.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
In now.
But you'll see in a minute, he'll cut it again, then gradually, as it changes, it'll spread again.
That's why I just put it back and cut it under.
Yeah. Do you want to have a go at cutting?
Yeah, why not? I'm going to leave it.
Yeah. It's quite a lot harder than it looks. And be careful of your fingers. That's quite sharp.
Show me all right, so as easy as it is.
No.
Okay.
Try and have your knife like that. You get a better cutting angle.
The thing you need for cheese making is to be thorough and patient. And you can tell me better whether he's patient anyway. But he certainly puts his heart and soul into it, which is something that you really need to do.
بعد كده التقليب. التقليب ليه بقى؟ عشان هما لو سابوها مرة واحدة كده يفضل المية كده تبوش كل اللي تحت، يبقى نص الجبنة هنا طعمه حاجة وفوق الجبنة حاجة.
I'm going to take a chance on this one and turn it again.
Okay. If the acidity is going too quickly, you turn it again and again and again. If the acidity is going slowly, you leave it alone. So you have to judge. What Sean's doing is judging how many times he's got to turn it and then the time in between them. And he'll do that from how the acidity is developing.
That's just gone at 0.6, which is, it could be a fast one, so I think I'll turn it again just in case.
Yeah. Basically, if you make a cheese, you have flavour-producing enzymes in the cheese. The longer you keep the cheese under good conditions, the more the enzymes will grow and you will get lots and lots of flavour in the cheese. So if you keep a cheese for 4 months or 6 months or 10 months, as it gets older, you'll get more and more flavour in the cheese. And that's what maturing is basically.
Opa!
Right, so if you want to stack those.
I can smell the flavor now.
Yeah. So stack them on top, just like Will's doing. That's it. And as we do one layer, we sandwich in between the layer, we put the flavour and the salt. You're okay?
All right.
And that's the garlic and herb flavours and the salt. Yeah.
But what we do is, in the morning, we analyse the milk, so we know how much fat is in the milk, and from that we predict how much cheese we're going to make, and then you say you want 2% salt, so you got an idea of how much salt you need to start with.
What's the texture like there, John? All right?
Sorry?
Texture all right?
Texture's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Texture's fine. Miko, when you're breaking them, twist it, and it's a lot easier.
اتعلمت حاجات كتير النهارده انا في الجبنه اصلا، والموضوع كان جميل جدا، الناس كانوا متعاونين جدا وحبيت الاتموسفير جدا. انا ما عنديش مانع اشتغل هنا اصلا، بجد فعلا ما عنديش مانع اشتغل هنا لان الاتموسفير كويس، الناس دي فاهمه هي بتعمل ايه كويس، كل حاجه ببروسيس، مش اي كلام وخلاص، كل حاجه محسوبه امتى وفين ولازم تقطع ازاي ولازم تقطع كده. وانا بحب، انتوا عارفين ان انا بحب التنظيم وبحب الحاجه تكون منظمه، وخصوصا اما تكون في الاكل.
Trouble when you have flavours, you have so much left over.
Yeah.
It all gets mixed. No, it all get mixed in. It's fine.
Because what that's doing is then mixing the salt all the way through.
Don't spread it like that. You turn it because of how I've put the salt and the flavours on. The theory is it should turn into it.
النهارده انا 100 لسه ما تعبتش، الشغل ما يتعبنيش، احنا عايزين مثلا بتاع مصنعين جبنه جنب بعض، 4-5 مصانع كده واقفين جنب بعض عشان يتعبونا.
Don't put too much on your shovels.
Okay.
All right. If you want to count 6 in there, count 6 in there, but have them slightly smaller. All right.
Okay.
And I'll break it up for you.
Thank you very much.
Now, there's 10 now.
Look, Sean. Did you see this one? I wasn't even looking.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Let me go in there.
Cheddar is reckoned to be the most popular cheese in the world, closely followed by feta, I think. But it's everywhere. It's made a lot in the US, Australia, New Zealand, So the cheeses we've got here, they're all cheddars and they're all made exactly the same way, but they're matured for different periods of time. So probably if you start with this one, this is our mellow.
Okay.
Now this has been matured for about 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
You're getting some flavour, but not very strong.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
So if we keep that cheese for an extra 6 months and 12 months, it becomes a mature one.
John, I really like that, the tasting part. I want to do it every day.
I try not to do it every day. Otherwise, you know.
But it's okay. Yeah, that's stronger, slightly stronger here. I
Yeah.
can feel this. I can feel.
Yeah. Now, this
Some
one,
really mature.
this one's a cave mature, so that's matured in the cheddar caves, and you get a different texture and a different flavour. Caves had been used all over the world for maturing because they have a constant temperature. And when I came here, there was no cheese matured in the cheddar caves, so we approached the owners and decided that we would try and mature in the caves and see what happens. Now there are two things about the caves. One is that the temperature is constant, and we put a temperature logger in for a year, and the maximum temperature difference was 0.4 of a degree. It was steady. But the other big thing is the humidity. And the caves are limestone, so you get a lot of water filtering through, and the humidity is around 98% all the time.
No, I prefer the cave.
Right.
I'm a caveman. I have to say the truth. Okay.
And now try this one. This is our vintage, which is about 18 months old. And the first thing you'll notice is the texture, which is a lot harder. And then you get the
Yeah.
flavour coming through at the back of the
And more
mouth.
creamy.
Yeah, yeah. But you get quite a strong flavour coming through.
They're
at the
all
back.
different, but they're all the same cheese. I love that.
Yeah, all made exactly the same. And this one is the one we're making today.
This is important. Oh, why didn't you tell me? So avoid kissing. So now I can't kiss anybody. Not you guys.
Let's say
Oh, okay, then.
you're all right.
Or maybe they eat something else. I said, you want to exchange your flavors?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good chat up line.
The best. I really love that one.
And then this one's with red onion and tomato. Okay.
Do you do, like, why do you work in Jura?
Oh, not allowed.
Not allowed. You don't do this, yeah? I will teach you how to do it.
We have one more, if
One
you'd
more?
like to try, which is with chili.
No. It's okay.
No, you're not a chili.
No, actually, we'll try it. Why not? I hate chili with passion.
It's quite hot.
I've got to try for the people.
It's quite hot.
I do it for the public. No. You know, I got to do something for your audience and then your fans, you know. Especially when they know that I hate chili and stuff and spicy food.
You won't taste it at first, you won't get any chili, and then it comes through.
See, that's more بعيد. She's like, you want to say, ah, but you don't. That's the feeling. No, but it's okay. I actually enjoyed it.
Good.
I don't enjoy
Good.
spicy food, but I enjoyed it.